Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Oz with Oz Mechanics, and on today's video, we have this 2006 Chevy Silverado right behind me. The issue with the Chevy Silverado, customer was complaining that they have a parasitic draw and it keeps on draining the battery. They took it to another shop, and the shop did a repair, but not the appropriate repair where the customer was happy. So how about in today's video, we try to figure out this vehicle and give it back to the customer. All right, so we're inside the vehicle now, and as you can see, we have a radio that is completely out, a gaping hole, and as well something that I did notice right here. They have an accumulator, brand new one. All right, well, right now we're not worried about that. I want to show you exactly what's going on. So I've had this vehicle in here. I actually left it overnight, and I don't know if you see this right here. This right here is a off and on button. And actually, this is not my first time seeing this. They use these for basically a quick patch up, and it's a little connector that goes on the battery, and you can actually turn off or on. And what it does is it doesn't allow current flow to drain your battery. Cool little thing, but here at House Mechanics, we want to fix this stuff up. The previous shop, they put this on. The customer was not happy. So put the key on. I was doing some tests. I was trying to see what was going on, but this stopped working. Look, I'm going to show you this little thing right here. I'm over this. So let me show you this right here. Well, actually, here, I'm going to show you how this works. So I did put this on here, and if we look on this side, there's some lights on this side right here. So I'm going to go ahead and press it off. You can see it turns off, on, off, on. But I was going inside, and this is just shorted. So I'm going to remove this for the meanwhile. Let me take this off. So this is a remote control battery disconnect switch. I'm going to put this back on for the meanwhile. But supposedly what this is supposed to do, as soon as you do off or on, the whole car shuts off. I don't care. Let's go back inside. Let's just talk a little bit about this. I just want to verify that the actual vehicle turns on, and we can take these off. All right, hopefully this is the last time we're ever going to use this little sucker. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just take this sucker out because I don't want to see this ever again, okay? All right, but right now, vehicle starts. You see? He does tell me that this might last a day or 2 days. If he doesn't run it, battery is going to be dead. So what's next now? After that little burst of rant that I had right now, I'm going to do a parasitic draw test, and we're going to get this going. As soon as he called me, he wanted to make sure if I knew about parasitic draw, and I said I'm the master when it comes to parasitic draw. I have so many videos that, I feel so confident that we're going to fix this up. So let's go to the front of the vehicle. Let's see what we find out, and hopefully we can get this sucker going. All right, so what I'm going to use to do my parasitic draw, I'm going to use my trusty old voltmeter right here. And it looks all dilapidated. Is that even a word, dilapidated? Okay. But what we're going to do, normally speaking, this is going to be on the comm line and voltmeter line, but we're going to be doing that. We're going to change this up to amps because we are reading amps right here. And I already have this on the amp side. All right, we got the choices of going to our positive or negative side, and I'm going to do the negative side because it is closer. So what we're going to do, go ahead and remove this once again, and we're going to put this sucker on here so we can have something to grab on. Now we have our clips, and I know some people are going to make fun of me because I got black with red. I don't care. Right now, we're just doing this test. I'm going to put this right here, and then this one over there. All right, sweet. Now we have a reading, and you're like, Oz, why is it just 0.87? I'm sorry, this voltmeter is kind of stupid, but there you go. Now, as you can see, is 0.87. That is 0.87 of an amp draw. That's a lot. That's really close to being 1 amp draw. So something in here is staying on. I can verify inside nothing is on. I waited about 5 minutes, made sure that everything's off, and I'm just going to show you my strategy. There's a lot of people that want to use different strategies. This is my strategy to do a parasitic draw test. what I like to do, first and foremost, let's do this right now. Let's go around the vehicle and we're gonna go ahead and open up the doors. And because if we want to go inside the vehicle and test anything out, I like to open up the doors and get a screwdriver. And then we're gonna go ahead and just hit this. And what we're doing is it basically thinks that the vehicle doors close. As you can see, we're closing it. It does not close. I like to do that to everything. So we're not disrupting the system anymore. I want to keep everything open and available. And we're going to do that on the passenger side. All right. So now that we have everything prepped up, ready to go, I always want to start off in the easiest part. And we have a fuse box right here. So we remove this. As you can see, wow, there's a bunch of fuses right here. I'm gonna use this little tool. I don't know, man. I think my cleaning lady, she's like, "What's a? It's an awkward looking tool. I don't know. It's like a little bird. I don't know." But what I like to do right here, remember, on newer vehicles, a little bit different. You can do the voltage drop. This is a 2006 Silverado. I'm just gonna be pulling out the fuses. Just you know, if you want to argue about it right now, I'm just gonna pull fuses. Uh, I feel like everything goes to sleep pretty fast, so let's go ahead and let's do this. So what we're gonna be doing is removing the fuses, and then we're keeping an eye on the actual voltage right here. So we're gonna remove fuses, keep an eye on the voltage while we're doing this, and make sure if it drops. And I want to see a significant drop. Okay, that right there, as you can see, hey, we removed it. You know what, 0.4. I'm just going to keep this aside. I don't want to put it in. And then we're going to go ahead and go on with our journey right here. All right, we still have not removed this on that. You know, trying to see. Oh, hey, hell. All right, it dropped a little bit. That was like point nothing, man. He's getting excited for nothing. Hey, what is this? Okay, this is all right, so this is a 15 amp fuse one right here that I removed. That's one of the biggest ones. All right, so right now this is the winner for now. Was a previous shop onto something? That's why they removed the radio. I feel like we're close. Doot, doot, doot. Oh, okay, what's this now? Now, as you can see, it dropped to 0.11. If I put that back in, as you can see, it goes up. Remove it. And that is a IPC DIC. Okay, so the big ones right here that I noticed, I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The big ones that I noticed, trailer brake. So it's gonna be the TRLBU. What else? The IPC and the radio. Those were the ones that I noticed that actually dropped a lot. So let's go to a wiring diagram. I'm kind of curious which ones these go to. And man, are they onto something with the radio? Because like I said, radio and the IPC, I'm gonna put both these on real quick. Look how much it goes up. That's the radio. That's the IPC. It's literally everything. So I don't know. Let's go look at a wiring diagram. Let's see what we find out. All right, I'm gonna use my top down because I don't want to pull off my computers from over there. So this is an '06 Chevrolet Silverado. This is a 5.3. Now what we want to look for is going to be the wiring diagram, and we're going to look at power distribution. All right, so the main ones that we want to look at, what was it? The TBC BAT. That's okay. That's a 10 amp fuse, which goes to the body control module. We can see that. Radio. Okay, so we have 2 radio fuses. The one that did take off was a 15 amp fuse, was not the 30 amp fuse. And this right here, holy smokes, it does bridge off from here. So this right here, if it's a luxury brand, it goes to the digital radio receiver, radio, rear seat audio controller. Let's see, and then after that, digital radio receiver, rear seat audio controller, and what else? And the radio amplifier. Okay, so I don't think we have to worry about this 30 amp fuse because that didn't even worry about. So I'm looking at this right here, which is all these digital radio receivers, rear seat audio controller, and then the IPC. Okay, IPC, there you go. As you can see, IPC DIC is the instrument cluster. Okay, so instrument cluster and the radio. See, remember we have everything open right now, so we can go check that out and see what's going on. All right, so right now there's 2 things I want to look at. the instrument cluster, and the radio fuse. The only thing is, I thought this would have, you know, some aftermarket stuff, but this is freaking original as possible. So now I want to focus on maybe the cluster, removing this and taking that off. But we do have some other stuff right here on the radio. And I was paying attention to this. We have a digital radio receiver, and as well we have a rear seat audio controller, which is back over here. So, and the radio's off, so you can see digital radio receiver, radio, and radio seat audio controller. I'm trying to do the easiest stuff right now, so I want to see if we can just remove this real quick. I got the keys right here. So to get to this, we got to push this down. All right, let me get a size 7, and we're gonna pull this out right here. All right, so as you can see, our amperage is a little bit high right now because we did hook up our fuse back into place. That's the instrument cluster. All right, I just want to go ahead and take this off. Now the question is, why is it back up to 80? All right, so now we can get to this. I'm just kind of curious. Here it goes. We're gonna disconnect this. Bam. So, like I said, we have this controller right here. What the heck? Why is this warm? Hold up. All right, so as you can see, we still have a draw over there, but I have this top down, and this is the TC003, and this is a thermal camera, and I don't know if y'all see that. Around here, it doesn't look as warm, but right there, for some weird reason, it is warm. It's a little bit warm. I just noticed that when I put my hand right there. I'm kind of curious. I wanted to try something out. I'm going to put the fuse back on, the radio fuse. I'm going to see what happens because I just noticed a little bit of warmth right there when I went to go touch it. So let me go hook up the fuse real quick. All right, so I did put the fuse back on, and I'm going to see if this warms up even more. I don't know about this, guys. This looks kind of crazy right here. You see like the difference from my hand and here. Why is it getting hot right there? You can see is like the heat level is getting a little bit hotter right there. And what the heck? Look at our readings right now. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to disconnect this. Now the fuse has been on there for a while, and we can see that the the middle, right at the middle right here, that's where it's getting the hottest. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna see if I can take this off. Let's see if we can get to it because this is kind of crazy. All right, I feel like this is right here, and we can remove this part. So let's go ahead and do that. Look, instrument cluster's out. It's still reading 8.3. All right, so remember, we took off the instrument cluster fuse and it dropped. But as soon as we put the radio fuse, it went back up. All right. All right, I think this is back here. All right, let me get on this side so we can finish it up. All right, I disconnected that. We dropped to 52. What I want to do is put this back on here because remember, it did trigger it. Our drawer is even higher now. I'm going to take off the instrument cluster fuse. Holy smokes, I was freaking out, man. Look at that right there. Now, 0.11 of a drop. I'm happy with that. I'm going to try to see if there's any other systems on here. But if I hook up that rear component right there, it is going to turn on. When I did put the radio on, it was acting up. I think there's a stuck CD in there. So I'm going to talk to the customer about this. I'm going to bring it up to him. But you saw the difference now. I'm going to see if I can hook this back up again for a quick second. You see how it went up? That is crazy. No, actually, I messed up. I didn't put that fuse in there. Let me see if it goes downhill. Hold up.
2 days later.
All right. All right, as you can see, there's a bunch of stuff disconnected and so on the last video or the last time. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of in a rush, and I thought I was gonna get this video done pretty early. That was gonna be about an hour, but it took a lot longer because I had some plans for the day, and yeah, it just didn't go well. I got to the point that I really got stressed out. There's a part in the video where I just started bleeding profusely on my hand. So yeah, after that, I just told camera guy, turn off the camera. We're done. I came back with a clear head, and let me just kind of explain to you what I found, because I do have the fix now. Remember beforehand, we had something with the instrument cluster, the rear controller, and then the radio. Let me show you. Let's get inside so I can kind of explain to you what we got right now. All right. So we can see right here the radio is connected. And one thing about the radio, I don't know if you noticed it, when I put it on, it was making this noise, clattering noise, and so on. I noticed that the actual CD was stuck in there, so I got a pick, pulled it out. That stopped, and then we didn't have an actual issue with that anymore. And then after I did that, I went ahead and put the controller back on. And check this out. Instrument cluster, radio, and controller are hooked up. And look at our battery draw right now. 0.04. Nothing. Rule of thumb is 0.05. But let me show you exactly what I found. This is really, really crazy. On the previous video, I remember whenever I hooked up the instrument cluster, it was still at 0.083, just going off of memory right now. And I remember beforehand, I was doing a parasitic draw test, and it took me into a rabbit hole. But what I found out is that these sometimes can back feed through other systems. And that's what got me thinking. So then I started going through other stuff, and I'm going to show you what I found out. So in the front of the vehicle, all right, so right here, we're in front of the vehicle. And what I did notice is that there's this J case fuse right here. And that J case fuse, anytime I took this sucker off, everything went off. I'm talking about no more battery draw or anything like that. Nothing was coming back on. Yeah, everything went off. So that got me thinking. I was just like, all right, what is going on now? And I started following this one, and we're about to go to the wiring diagram, and I'm going to show you which one this actually feeds. And there's going to be, I believe, the L Beck 2. And when I went to that one, I'm going to show you exactly what I found, because that was actually the fix. So let's go to this wiring diagram. Let me pull it over here real quick. All right, so now if we go right here, we're going to find this L-Beck fuse. That L-Beck 2 fuse, which is right here, goes down, and then it goes to a couple of legs right here. It goes to the DDM, and that's the driver door module, ECC TPM, auxiliary power 2, and PDM, which is the power or the passenger door module, and then the lock fuses. So at that point, I started to ask myself, and I'm not gonna lie, when the customer did come by on the passenger door, I noticed that where the power door switch is at, it looked kind of weird. I'm gonna put a picture right here, and it looked kind of, I don't know, corroded or something. And I did bring it up to the customer. I said, hey, by any chance, do you ever leave your windows open or anything that would cause water to actually get on the door switches? And he said no. So I disregarded that. But after I did that, I started removing these fuses, which are the driver door module and the passenger door module. And I'm going to show you something. Come over here, and I'm going to show you what happens. All right, I'm going to have that hanging right here. And as you can see, this is all off right here. I'm going to go ahead. I do have this off. Watch this. Look at that. 2 amp draw. The passenger door, it's kind of hanging there. Let me make sure if it's connected. Actually, I had it disconnected, but let me connect it real quick. All right, so I connected everything, and check out the draw. 1.42. This is nuts, man. Now, what we're going to do, I'm just going to show you what I did. I came over here and disconnected the driver door fuse, which is a 15 amp DDM. And look at the draw. It's under 0.05 of a draw. So I went ahead and bought a new one, and we're just gonna go ahead and put this sucker in so you can see this. So you can see that this is the fix. And luckily this one, you see driver door module program not required, so we don't have to program this. And then make sure that we put our fuse back in. I said 15 amp and then I pulled a 10, so I had these two backwards. As you can see, the amperage did go up, and then now is dropping down. All right. This is Dyack for you. I don't know, man. I made a boo-boo on this one. I'm just gonna let you know this is my F up right here. Luckily, nothing was purchased, and the customer didn't have to spend money on stuff that we didn't need. I did disconnect stuff, but like I said, radio's working now. The controller is controlling now. There's no draw anymore. This is a crazy one. So I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back on, and hopefully we should be a-okay. Normally what happens with these right here, they tend to get water right here, and then it messes up with the electronics inside. But I'm not sure if this was already changed. And I did notice one thing. I don't know if you can catch that right here. This is a folding mirror. When I checked the VIN, this does not have a folding mirror. So I think this was changed out before. It's probably a cheap brand. I'm not too sure. But now, as you can see, we have the fix. So there you go. I messed up. I'm human. I'm sorry. But I'm just glad that nothing else was changed out. And now the customer is going to have a vehicle that he doesn't have to have that stupid little thing on there, which is not really stupid. You know, if on the pinch, you can use that for the meanwhile. But yeah, I don't like that. I like working on cars. I like fixing them cars. So there you go. You saw Oz mess up. What do you think? We all mess up. We're human. I just think I had too much on my head. So if you do like this video, please put a big thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that little notification bell to get all the brand new videos coming out from Oz Mechanics. Y'all take care. Y'all have a nice day. Goodbye. Whoop!